Kanye, Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Chakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to Joachim out there, who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved Elder Tazapah as well. And the water, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by word of Chakwadash, for blessing us with another opportunity to come bring forth this news, to be watchmen, the true weather forecasters to tell the people what to look out for, man. And the difference is the things that we say is a definite. Sometimes these so-called weather forecasters, they'll say there's a 75% chance of rain, especially out here in Houston, and 100% chance of rain, and it don't rain at all. But the things that the Lord have his prophets update on a daily, these things are happening, and if not happening, will happen. But before we hop into it, the Tazapah, the floor is yours if you have anything.
No, I don't have nothing right now.
Okay, cool. So with that, we'll hop into it in Shalom, to all the Akim Akwath who may be tuning in. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakathum. So we won't have much, but as you see, what the Lord been having certain apostles, elders, brothers touch on the last couple of days, because that's the spirit of the times. Remember, as I say in 2 Ezra 4, and I think this is the second week straight, we quoted this to start off the lesson. But 2 Ezra 4, it says, as he measured the times, I might as well get it then. The 2 Ezra 4.
Okay.
The 2 Ezra chapter 4. 2 Ezra 4 and 37, it says, by measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. And then he is talking about the Heavenly Father. It says, so when all world events, they happen on a specific day and time that the Lord have set. It says, and he do not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So the Lord he ain't gonna do certain things before another prophecy. So the reason I even brought that up is that you see, throughout different weeks, the Lord had a spirit change. 1 week we may be talking about World War III. 1 week we may be talking about a couple of days we may be talking about the digital system and the MOTB and Elon Musk, right? But now the Lord got the spirit on not just a digital system coming, but a militarized America as well. You see, a militarized America that's also go come in the suffering of the people. All we waiting on is many different particular events, not many as in a lot of things got to happen because people at their last, but it's going to be certain event, a big event, whatever, a black swan that's going to kickstart everything. But the point is that everything is ready. Now, what we want to go into now is that, for the past, month or so, couple months, we've been seeing the deportations that's been going on with ICE, in the Northern Kingdom. And Trump, talking about getting them out of America, because they dangerous in a cartel and drugs. With the so-called white man, you the danger to humanity, you the danger to society, man, yourself. But what we'll touch on today is that it's not just, as you see in the title, it says America's cruel Lord and the trouble that's coming for Jacob. And what it's starting to look like is that Trump, he is that cruel Lord as it spoke of in Isaiah, I believe the 19th chapter, which we believe that's Nero as well. But the moves that this man is making is also going forward, the trouble that's coming to Jacob. The military, the ICE is not only going to affect the Northern Kingdom now, but also the Southern Kingdom of Jacob. And that's a clear path to Jacob's trouble. Talking about deport now the Haitians, so we'll hop into it. But Elder Tazapah, before we start reading articles, if you got anything.
No, not yet. You good.
Okay, so I'll read this first one, and this kind of like a little honorable mention, seeing tomorrow is July 4th, which is America's Independence Day. Now this from End Time Headlines from July 2nd, yesterday, 2025. It says the FBI warns of lone wolf attacks during the 4th of July. And they over different holidays, and they've been saying this for the past 2 years, the FBI, that it's supposedly be terror IST attacks. Whether it's a large group of people or a lone wolf, somebody by themselves, like a school shooter. So they putting that out there. Just watch out for that. Because Esau need things to pass these laws. He need reasons to bring more military on the streets. So I read a little bit. It says recent warnings from federal authorities have raised concerns about potential security threats during the upcoming July 4th celebrations in New York City. So it says New York City, but again, these things are happening across America. It says, as not saying it's going to happen, but look out for it just in case. It says, as reported by New York Daily News, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, have issued a joint bulletin highlighting the risk of lone wolf attacks during the holiday festivities. The bulletin emphasized that large public gatherings, such as parades and firework displays, could be prime targets for individuals conspired by extremist ideologies. And we know Esau, he can fake something like he always do. Everything is fake with Esau. You can't trust him. But he'll pay people off to go do something and say, yeah, we was believing in this belief, right? We follow these people, and that'll force Esau to either put his light on that group or whatever it may be. Ain't no telling what Esau about to do in these times. But that's pretty much it on that. Just keep our eyes on the swivel, heads on the swivel. Not just this weekend, but mainly in this weekend since the 4th of July. But you got other ties of power.
All right, Khan, this is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. All right. So like it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. All right, and going into this particular holiday tomorrow, Jake's still gonna be celebrating. All right, and it just raises a question for me: is when are they gonna stop? You celebrating independence while your people are being deported. It makes no sense. And when the scripture is saying, and just like I'm gonna come back to Micah, I'm gonna jump over here real quick to Jeremiah. And this is Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's start at let's see here. I'll go right to the point. Let's get verse 5. So Jeremiah 51 and 5 says, for Israel had not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts. It says, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel, it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So when it's saying, arise ye and depart, this is not your rest, it's the same as what Jeremiah was prophesying here in Jeremiah 51 and 6, to flee out of the midst. It's not saying to flee literally, but come out of the madness, come out of the mindset of the land of all captivity, the land of all oppressors. Jake got to come out of the illusion, but the prophecy tells us it's going to be like that, as in the days of Noah. So it just boggles my mind how people can still be caught up in this stuff, and freedoms are being taken away from us left and right. And yes, it's getting scary. The northern tribes ain't showing up for work. A lot of crops not being harvested. That's going to further lend to this famine that's coming. So yeah, the stage is set. All right, everything is, man. We're on the verge of complete chaos, and I'm not saying that trying to sensationalize it. All right, we've been warning about Jacob's trouble, and so here we are. You know, for the elect, Lord willing, I be of that number. We have hope. All right, but you know, for the world, for them to be in the mindset that they're in, it's frightening. But it bears witness to prophecy, if I may, real quick. All right, these pages stick. All right, so we'll go here to and I'm in.
What you looking for?
Okay, no, 2 Peter 3. There we go. And get the page loose. So 2 Peter 3, I want to go to verse 9. It says, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. All right, and with everything that's going on, people still don't have a clue that they're in the last days. We're in the end days. And people are totally clueless, caught up in the loop of their lives, in the loop of their emotions. Because you know, our people are ruled by their emotions. So again, 2 Peter 3 and 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. But the point is, the Lord is coming back as a thief in the night. All right, and this showing. People act like they don't have a clue as to what's going on in the world. And if you say, well, you know, I just want to, you know, take the edge off, you know, this ain't that time. We ain't in the time of relaxing and kicking back, you know. So just to go back here, Micah 2 and 10. And it says again, arise ye and depart. That's the spirit right now. That should be the zeitgeist. To depart of the, you should be waking up. And as you were saying, you know, before we started, you got Jake that they'll see things happening, they'll get fed up, but then their only solution is to vote. Because they don't know how to let this go. But just let it crash and burn. Arise ye and depart. For this society, this rulership, this kingdom, but this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. And that's what's coming to Babylon and the world, sword destructions. So that was it, brother. You got it.
Come, that's it. I'll go to the next one because again, everything is being set up around the people. Really, the stage already set. It's just that now they got to report on and let the people know what's going on. So I'll go to the next one. This was put out on the 27th from End Time Headlines. It says Ron Paul warns that Trump is unleashing. It says Ron Paul warns that Trump is unleashing a great big ugly surveillance state. And this we know this. You know, we already know this. And as we see the army, they just had what 4 new colonels, lieutenant colonels, and these so-called colonels that they put up there, higher ups, are straight out of the tech world. I read it right here. It says the 4 new Army Reserve Lieutenant Colonels are come on, man. Are Shyam Sankar, Chief. Look at these titles: Chief Technology Officer for Palantir. Right. It says Andrew Bosworth, Chief Officer of Meta, Kevin Will, Chief Product Officer of OpenAI, and Bob Grew, advisor at Thinking Machines Lab and former Chief Research Officer for OpenAI. So these men have just been put as 4 lieutenant colonels over the U.S. Army. And look at the background they're coming with. All higher ups in tech, chief officers in tech, the tech world. So why would this be all of a sudden? And it ain't like you just fill out an application like I want to do it. I want to be a colonel in the army. There's years of work, but they were just put there. And that's another thing that's been shown. Esau, Revelation 12, and I get that next, Lord willing. It says that he got a short time. Look how fast Esau been passing all these laws into place. Passing legislation. Record breaking time because he got to hurry up and get it through. But I go back to this, read a little bit of this from Ron Paul. It says, in a candid interview with Orange County, Ron Paul spoke about the rapid erosion of individual freedoms in the name of national security and technological progress. And that, again, they gonna frame this digital system, as I say right here, a surveillance state. They're gonna frame it as is national security, as if Esau he's trying to help you. He's trying to keep the boogeyman away, which is terrorists, to help you out. So that's why things go come, such as the military. More things go come, such as the MOTB, digital tracking, digital IDs, because he gonna say, well, with this American citizens, we'll know who actually immigrants and who actually not. You don't have to fear new diseases. You don't have to fear these things. This is gonna be Esau excuse. You about to say something at the time, Paul?
No, I was just agreeing. That's right.
Yep. Can I read a little bit down? So he said, he says, let me see. He says they want to know everything about you, what you buy, what you think, even what your DNA looks like. And how they gonna know that? With putting a digital system in you, man. It says even what your DNA looks like. Paul told the Register, this surveillance state is growing beyond anything that we've seen. It says Paul's comments are especially timely in light of recent developments in synthetic biology and artificial intelligence. And we've been seeing it. Government agencies have begun partnering. Government agencies have begun partnering with private tech companies to harness the power of biometric data, facial recognition, and now even genome sequencing, raising fears that emerging technologies could become tools of authoritarian control. And we know it will be, according to Revelation 13. He calls of all. He wants everybody to get this mark so he can control you, man. It says you give them a little bit of authority to look at your records, and the next thing you know, they're scanning your face, tracking your phone, and storing your DNA. I read this last little paragraph, and all this too in the description box, and we can move on. But just a part of, although we seen a lot, look, the Diddy trial, look, Diddy might be let out soon. in the event that a lot of news come out with celebrities, start going look up what's been signed behind the scenes, what Esau doing behind the scenes. Now they probably gonna make a big thing with this Diddy thing, but let's see what Esau or what Trump gonna do next now that this bill is passed. But it says the concern have taken on greater urgency with the U.S. government's recent investment in biological data collection initiatives with synthetic DNA projects moving forward and biosurveillance becoming a central focus and of national security. Civil liberties advocates are sounding the alarm about the possible misuse of the tool, right? So again, that's being set up. No, if you had someone that talk about?
No, that lines up with the research that I've been looking into, and it's all going to be under national security. What they talking about, that bioenergy, they're tapping into people's aura. So it's something similar to like what they were showing in Black Mirror. They actually can do that. So and you was talking about DNA. Yeah, they don't have to physically extract your DNA. They could do it all wirelessly. So yeah, this is where everything is going. It won't be no more hiding in the crowd or hiding in the woods. They'll be able to target you, all right, precisely wherever you are. All right, and then with the mark of the beast, it's a done deal. Then they got complete control of it. But yeah, they got some real dystopian plans in store. But yeah, brother, go ahead.
So I move on to this one now. Again, it's not just that Esau is setting up a prison, a digital prison around you. As far as you're gonna have to, eventually the people gonna have to bow down to this digital system. But not just that, he's gonna bring the force of that system with it. By way of the military.
Yep, that beast.
By way of the beast. And that's what people starting to see. Matter of fact, now I'll wait to get that. But that's what people starting to see. And now Esau realizing, well, I don't have no other choice. My back against the wall. I just gotta be me. So Esau gotta just show people who he really is, and he about to go all out. And now that goes into he can no longer seem as if he a lamb, but he gotta show the people he a dragon, and that's what a lot of people about to be surprised about. Yes, the government, the same government you got all this assistance from for years. Right, the same government that gave you Friday off for 4th of July, right? The same government that gave you Christmas off, the same government that put the commercials up that say they fighting for you so you don't have to worry about terrorists. That same government go attack you. And that's what's being prepared against the people, and they don't see it because it's the government. And they slowly moving in, gradualism. But you got it.
No, that was it.
We touched on the digital side of it, the police state, but now also Trump, by way of the things that he's signing, the moves that he's making, and really is not per se him be the face of it, but what it's saying is this article right here, we'll read it, but you see how ICE been moving on the people, and a lot of these, and it's not a picture of ICE, it's just a random, I guess, a picture, And we know how ICE been moving. They've been coming without a badge as far as to people houses, stores, churches, and we'll read a little bit in the article, but they don't have nothing on their clothes to show that they ICE, and they just doing what they want with people, and nobody could do nothing about it. Well, they saying that the way ICE coming, that's a foreshadowing on how everything else going to be from here on out. That's the prototype. I read it. It says, it's from shtfplan.com, put out June 29, 2025. It says, America's most lawless agency, ICE, is the prototype for tyranny. Prototype means the first. typical and preliminary model of something. Remember, 2nd Esdras 16, 2nd Esdras 15, they talk about troops coming in. Troops being on the street, lockdowns. Well, this is a foreshadowing of that. Let's read a little bit of it. It says, while the U.S. wages war abroad, bombing Iran, escalating conflict, and staging a spectacle of power for political gain, a different kind of war is being waged here at home. This war at home is quieter, but no less destructive. The casualties are not in distant deserts or foreign cities. They are our freedoms, our communities, and the Constitution itself. And that's another thing. It's going to be so beautiful to see these people think they really got a Constitution. I know my rights. It's going to be amazing to see how these people react when they realize you ain't got no rights. The Constitution don't matter. That's all for show. You know?
Yep.
It says, and the agents of this domestic war are mass thugs, unmarked vans, raids, and roundups. It says detentions without due process, retaliation against those who dare to question or challenge government authority, and people made to disappear into bureaucratic black holes. Fear campaigns target immigrant communities and political dissenters alike. So not just immigrants, people who got anything to say against the governments. The main ones are the prophets. It says, and surveillance weaponized to monitor and suppress to suppress lawful activity. It says packaged under the guise of national security. This is the second article back to back talk about that they're going to come with the surveillance state and military as if it was to help you national security. It says, as all power grabs tend to be this government-sanctioned thuggery, masquerading as law and order is the face of the Trump administration's so-called war on immigration. It says, don't fall for the propaganda that claims we're being overrun by criminals or driven into poorhouse by undocumented immigrants living off welfare. It says the real threat to our way of life comes not from outside invaders, but from within, an unelected, unaccountable, enforced agency operating above the law. I'm going to get this precept real quick. And that's what a lot of people about to see.
Yep, operating with impunity. And that's what Trump, he came out and said, you know, if you touch them, you go into jail, but they don't have no repercussions as to what they do to you. No legal repercussions, none whatsoever. But you can't so much as look at them sideways. You know, this is a rogue government. But yeah, brother, you got it.
Mm-hmm. This is real quick. This is Revelation 13. And I'm going to get straight to the point. Revelation 13, and when you go into Revelation 13, it goes into all the Edomite power structures that you know was set up in the earth, starting with the Greeks on down to America being revised as that Roman Empire. Now I'm gonna get this real quick because this is what we're seeing right now. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 8. It says, I'm gonna start at 7. And it was given unto him that him in this context right here is America. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. And the majority of the Israelites are here in America. And to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him who's.
Yeah, Colin, we brought that out Tuesday at camp. You still there?
Slain from the foundation of the world. That's not what I wanted, but you can hear me?
How it go? I hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, how it go?
What's that? I ain't hear what you said.
No, you say that wasn't what you were looking for. What you were looking for?
Oh no, yeah, I wasn't look. I was reading verse 8. This is what I was looking for. Verse 11, Revelation 13 and 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast, which is America, come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb." Right, two horns like a lamb, and those two horns are symbolic for the two party systems that we see in America, which America get it from Rome. The Rome had the plebeians and the patricians, which I believe the patricians are your modern day Republicans, and your plebeians. Let me look it up. And your plebeians was your modern day Democrats. Yep. Yeah, your plebeians was your Democrats, and your patricians. Yep, patricians were the upper class, wealthy landowners, descendants of the Roman senators, and plebeians were the common person. Yep. So your plebeians, the Democrats, are the modern plebeians, the two-party system, and your patricians are the modern Republicans. The thing is that when it's time to run, all of a sudden in black churches, you got every president, vice president on the pew, not the row, but the pew. You got they all in the neighborhood doing community work, telling you they're gonna help you lower taxes, America first, right? Revelation 13 and 11, and I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. Key word is like a lamb. As if he docile, he ain't gonna do nothing, but this what we seeing now. And he spake as a dragon. Now we seeing his true side. Remember, it talks about iron rusting in the book of Sirach. Now the lamb have rusted. Now we see the dragon. And how he's speaking about the laws that he passing, and not just the laws he passing, what he actually saying on video. But you got it on top of Paul. You about to say something?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's right. But that's the spirit you went to 7, because that's exactly what's happening right now with the deportations through ICE and other federal agents. It's a war being waged on Israelites, because I brought up the point yesterday in my lesson. You got all kinds of people over here undocumented, people that in the news that's having sleeper cells.
Yep.
Wouldn't common sense say to go after them first? And you putting it in the news that there are sleeper cells, but you're going after Israelites who don't bother nobody. The only Israelites that are terrorists are like these Israelites in these gangs that are set up by Esau. But other than that, our people ain't raised in no hell. We out here trying to survive, trying to live. But you got people here that are here to do harm to America, and you're not deporting them, because this is them making war with the saints. And people don't understand it because people don't know the history. And then they got everybody, well, not everybody, but they got a lot of people misplaced and uprooted. And that they're passing all of this these unrighteous decrees, unjust legislation, all right, to criminalize a people who were invited over here seeking what's that word? It's basically seeking refuge. Yeah, as refugees, pretty much, because of what Esau has done in their countries. If he hadn't went, raped, robbed, and pillaged down in South and Central America, I guarantee you them people wouldn't risk their life to walk all them thousands of miles to come over here. Because it's all beautiful land, and it's all rich land. Rich in everything, resources, you name it. So it's a fundamental problem somewhere where you got a people wanting to leave this paradise to come up here to this shithole. They're leaving one shithole to come to another shithole. All right. And you criminalize them for that. Now, you do have some hardened criminals among them. But they're not making any distinction. They just rounding everybody up, putting them on planes, and some people are reporting that they're tossing people off planes. There's reports of bodies washing up with shackles up on these beaches. You know, so he gonna go all out, meaning Esau Edom. He's not gonna let off the gas. This is his last hurrah. So we have to get right with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, you know, with all power. Because his wrath is coming down. All right. Well, we bring out Revelation 12 and 12. A lot on this show. And if I may, I'll bring it out right now. All right. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right, so he's going to unleash that wrath to the full extent of the power vested in him by the Most High through the left-hand side. He coming with the full wrath. All right, and people don't understand, yeah, this is an ongoing military campaign. There's no coincidence that crack ended up in our neighborhoods.
Right.
And then they say, oh, it's a war on drugs, Reagan. We're going to have a war on drugs. You might as well. It's a military campaign. And that turned the streets, the inner city streets, into war zones. South Central, certain parts of LA. And then that is spread to, you know, other parts of the US. But yeah, man, this has been an ongoing thing. And are people still sitting here oblivious to the tactics that's being employed against them and don't, you know, still trusting in the system that's oppressing them, talking about voting. But yeah, brother, he coming down with that great wrath. But go ahead.
That's it. That's it, because you know you got a short time. So I read a little more into this. Again, they saying ICE. And remember Trump signed, I forget exactly what it was. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it before the lesson. But he signed something about at any time he can use bringing the military and troops to help out local police departments. I forget the exact name of that order. You know, I'm gonna have to find it. But the point is that's already in play. And I think what in the 28th of this month is when it was 90 days over with, when you get the report on how things been, if I'm not mistaken. I know we talked about it before, the Tazapah. But I continue on this.
You know, what's that for?
I forget exactly what is called, like the legal term of it. But remember, Trump signed something, we talked about it a couple months ago, and it was saying to where at any time if the citizens start to revolt and it's too much for the local police departments, that the government could call in the military troops for assistance, and that the military could aid the police departments with like military outfits and uniforms and everything, equipment. You know, I know we talked about it a while.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you're right.
You know, but the point is,
yeah, I don't remember the timelines. I need to go back into that.
Yeah, I had to go back into it as well. But remember that the thing is that was months ago. So here we are, and they need any excuse to call in the troops. That's Isaiah 10. He have laws that's already pre-decided. He just need to force people and give them an excuse to pass it. That's it. But I'll continue reading this, and we can play these videos, and we can end it really here in a few. But it says the detentions without due process. I jumped down. Right, it says all this will be packaged under the guise of national security, as all power grabs tends to be. This government-sanctioned thuggery, masquerading as law and order, is the face of the Trump administration. So-called war on illegal immigration. Let me see. And it goes down. They got a couple other things on how ICE, how they've been overstepping their boundaries with certain people, how they just running into the different places, not showing no. I read this. It says ICE raids often occur without warrants, and again, they say this is the prototype for how things about to be. So the military, these mercenaries, when they come in, they ain't about to sit down and talk to you. They ain't gonna have to do that. It says ICE raids often occur without warrants. Agents frequently detain individuals not charged with any crime. Homes, schools, hospitals, workplaces, courthouses have all become targets. Matter of fact, that reminded me of a precept. 2nd Ezra 16. And that's a spirit that you just got Revelation 12. And I get this real quick to show when he do come in wrath, it's going to be with the military. That's in the scriptures. And ICE is just the prototype, the foreshadowing of how it's really about to be. Real quick, 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 68. It's because remember all the places they just named, and that's what it's going to say. They're going to be in every place. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 68, it says, for behold, the burning wrath, that's the same Revelation 12 and 12 wrath, because you know he got a short time wrath. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude. What's the multitude? Troops, mercenaries. It says the great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols, taking you to concentration camp. Well, not us, Lord willing, but well, shit, some of us might go to concentration camps. Lord willing, we don't have to go through these things that we about to read though. But a lot of people will be forced to take MOTBs there, bow down there. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. So when we do see these troops, think about what Yahushua said. Run. Right? Just like back in 70 AD. If you're on a housetop doing something, don't go in the house and you see troops, run. Don't go asking questions. What y'all doing? Don't go with the phone trying to get it on TikTok and think you about to go viral. It's a different time. You'll get the butt of a gun in your face and on TikTok. Times gonna be different. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and trodden under reproach. So if you go to the government for help, you're going to lose. It says, and trodden underfoot, for they shall be in every place. The military, right? Let's go back to read this because it says, again, they said ICE is the prototype, the foreshadowing. But it's going to be everywhere these troops are going to be. It says ICE raids often occur without warrants. Agents frequently detain individuals not charged with any crime, whoever. And we're going to let Trump speak in the field. It ain't just immigrants no more. It ain't just Northern Kingdom no more. It's niggas and anybody in America, even if you're a citizen. But it says, and this is where they come. Homes, schools, hospitals, workplaces, and courthouses have all become targets everywhere. It says, and that's what it says right here, for there shall be in every place, everywhere, and in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, and they shall be like madmen, sparing none. So they ain't coming here to play with people, man. Again, people think ICE bad. No, you're going to see when they killing people, even if it's being recorded, they're not going to care.
Remember we read last week, they planning on Christian persecution.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the Pike Mazzini letter. So that, that prophecy you just read lines right up with it. Just showing you that they on the same page. It's that they on the left of things, and we're on the right of it. I was reminded too, by the way, the water, to the sister, she reminded me, I don't know if you was referring to the executive order that's strengthening and 1 second, I lost it. It was strengthening and unleashing America's law.
Yeah, I think it's doing. Now, what you say, Zaquan? I think you
Could you
froze.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think you had froze.
Oh, you hear me now? Okay. I don't know. It was if that's the one you was talking about, Executive Order 14288, I believe. Strengthening and I think it's confirming and strengthening America's law enforcement.
This may be
Is
it.
that the one? Because it do mention 90 days.
Because I remember he said lethal force.
Because I can't remember. Yeah, that has to be it.
Because he said when he's sending troops, they're going to come with lethal force. I remember that. I definitely remember that.
Yeah, I think it's Executive Order 14288.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. Yeah, you know, it's all good. I'm trying to go back and see
Yeah,
what.
that should be it if you want to
Oh, I
pull
think
it
I
up.
got it. I think I got. Yep. Hey, the water y'all about Shmal Shai. I found it on my phone. So
All right. Come
DOD
on. Call halal, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai.
called lawyer about Shmal Shai direct 5240.01. Boom. Yup. Let's go with the water y'all about Shmal Shai. Check this out. Man, the Lord be coming through. So this is remember Trump was dealing with the Department of Defense. It says the DOD intelligence, and this is the PDF. DOD intelligence and intelligence related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to check this out assistance keywords assistance to when you read through Esau stuff you got to really kind of get into it. It says assistance to who law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. So it's going to talk about the help that the military going to need. Let me see if I can find it real quick straight to lethal force. Yep. Let's see if we can go straight to it. It says the decision. This is Secretary of Defense approval. I'm gonna start at, and this the matter of fact. I'm gonna put this up in here so y'all can look at it too if y'all want. But this is what it is. Y'all can check that out so y'all can have it too. But it's on the section 3. It says levels of authority, and it's so cold because what's the title in this one? This article. ICE is just a prototype. That's the first level. This is what it's going to come to. Levels of authority. It says subject to paragraph 3, section 1. Defense intelligence components may provide check this out, man. Personnel to federal department or agency, including a federal law enforcement agency, your local police. It says, or a state or local law enforcement agency when lives are in danger. So when things turn up, this the assistance that Trump already signed this with the DOD months ago. So again, the point, as the prophet's been saying, we ain't really waiting on nothing like that. Everything is set, really. It's set. I'm gonna read this again. It says defense. I'm a little excited. I got a little excited. Defense intelligence components may provide personnel to assist federal department or agency, including a federal law enforcement agency or a state or local law enforcement agency when lives are in danger in response to a request for such assistance in accordance with the following approval authorities. Now you go down, and it's the things. It says, the decision to approve requests for these type of permissible assistance described in paragraph 3, section 2 to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities reserved. It says provision of personnel to support response efforts for civil it says to support response efforts for civil disturbances, right? And we know that's big right now. Civil disturbances. And that's
Yep.
anything that can happen with the people. You got it as a quantity. You was about to say something.
No, you good.
Now check this out. What the military could be used for: civil disturbances, which may also require presidential authority. And we gonna play a video in a few. Trump with it. He with it. Alligator Alcatraz. He all for it. And he already gave the okay. What's the next event it could happen for? The military troops could be sent. It says the Department of Defense, in response to chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, or high-yield explosive incidents. If something happened, a sickness or explosion, that's why it could be used. Now check this out. This is the point I wanted. And see. So when the troops do come, this is why they gonna come. Assistance in responding with assets with, I'm gonna blow that up. So they go respond with this. It says assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality. What lethality mean? The capacity to cause death or serious harm or damage. It says potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. What they just said, watch out for the 4th of July. The point is, any little thing can happen to where the local police need help, Trump can send it in. Any little thing. It says, and such use of force must be in accordance with DOD 521056. You know, and it goes on. But the point is, when they be sent, it's for the use of lethal force, man. And that's in the chat if you want to kind of look at it again, you know. That was, you know, kind of something through the spirit. But so ICE just what we seeing with ICE, that's just the beginning of what's really about to happen, man. But you have anything other times apart other than that, we can end it on the rest of these videos.
Yeah, no, that was on point. Yes, so all the framework of legalization is in place. But yeah, you got it, bro.
I'll go back and read this real quick because now that lethal force shed more light on 2nd Ezra 16. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. For they shall be in every place, just like ICE running everywhere. But the real military, when it's real lockdowns, real concentration camps with the CHIP, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, for they shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. We seeing that. But once it really turn up, it says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. And that's what I hope. That's where I hope lie. When this do happen, the Lord gonna protect us. But I'll go ahead and play this video from Trump. Now we see he's starting to speak as a dragon, and this might be the cruel Lord, man.
Yeah, I got one right quick.
You got it.
2nd Ezra. All right, this is chapter 15 and verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So this is where we come into. In verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. But because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. So Egypt is going through mourning, but it hasn't seen nothing yet. We just coming to the beginning of sorrows. All right. So the Heavenly Father is going to smite the very foundation of this place. And that's why you see all systems, all institutions beginning to fall and crumble. And you see the head office, the top office of commander in chief. You see the madness that's going on up there. The scriptures say, as the ruler of a people, so are his officers, as well as the people. So, and that began in the Biden administration. You saw all kind of chaos and confusion, and it hasn't stopped. This is madness. You got top ex-military with Colonel McGregor calling America a rogue state. Well, that's the Most High smiting the foundations of this place. All right, what is the country founded on? Yeah, it's founded on finances, military, and order, government, structure. And those are the very things that's being broken down. Financial system is in ruins, all right, to usher in the MOTB. It's by design, all right. The government is crazy right now, and they're just totally ignoring the Constitution and Bill of Rights, all right, which we're not really protected under the Constitution, but we are protected by the Bill of Rights. And that's what's being ignored. And people that are being detained that are citizens are not given due process. All right? They're being rounded up. Just for, it's no rhyme and reason. It's just for them being a particular demographic. And so, yeah, the foundations are what else? The military. The military is trash. All of that Biden administration and Obama administration, LGBTQ policies has destroyed the military. And morale is low. I don't know about in the military, but I'm talking about as to enlist in the military. The morale is low. Nobody want to enlist in this shit. So, right, the Most High smiting the foundations of this place. It's crumbling from within. All right. And again, by design, all of this is to usher in this MOTB. All right. And the military had to be weakened to fulfill, right quick, Zephaniah. Let me grab that right quick. You know this? Let me look Joel. That's one. So, all right. Joel chapter 3. It says, Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right. So systematically, the U.S. military had to be weakened. All right. And then again, by design, to set up for this third war. So everything is in place. The stage is set to bring about the end of Esau's kingdom. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So the Lord said it wasn't going to be a smooth transition. We're going to go through troubles. In order to get to that broad, we got to go through the narrow, that straight and narrow. All right. But right, the weak are rising up. They're saying I'm strong because they see the flaws. They see the failures of the U.S. military. Left Afghanistan with their tail between their legs, billions of dollars of military equipment. They just left. Got their asses handed to them by the Houthis just recently. So the world is looking at this. This is, the power of the Most High. That's what the world ain't realizing. The Most High is bringing this place down, exposing, lifting her skirt, exposing all this shit. And those with their eyes open around the world that are not under this Babylonian witchcraft spell, they see it. And here in America, it's hard for a lot of people to see, I guess. It's hard waking up from illusion. You had a good dream, and then you wake up and you be mad. The people don't want to wake up. This is a good dream for some people. But yeah, you got it, Doc.
Come on, that's it. I'll go ahead and play this vid.
I like to say, little country.
Spirit Trump coming in. So again, as a lot of people think, it's just the Northern Kingdom immigrants. You had the so-called black people all on Instagram saying it's not our fight, or we go sit this one out, or mocking the Northern Kingdom brothers because they getting deported. But now, eventually, that's gonna touch you niggas too, man, and not just Israelites, but also you Americans. It's gonna touch y'all too.
Controversial, but I couldn't care. I like to say, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen, and it did happen. But we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York. They're not accidents.
You see that? So he said, ain't just no immigrants. No, we moving on past them. We dealing with them. What about all these other people who've been here? You've been in America long enough. You ain't new here. You too. Let's get them out. So again, they speaking as a dragon. I'll put this quick. When you about to say something?
Yeah, that's why Job say that the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. He got some nerve, any Edomite, to sit up there and say we need to deport criminals, and you don't start with yourself as being a raper, a robber, a pillager, a thief, a murderer, in the whole 9 yards. He ain't got room. None of them got room to speak about no criminal activity of any sort. And deporting people based on criminal activity, they should be the first one to volunteer to get on the planes and get the fuck out of here. But yeah, the joy of the hypocrite. You see? And that's what I'm saying. They sit up there, man, as if we don't know they came out of the goddamn caves.
Right.
And that we had to civilize their crack ass. And to this day, These people still, it ain't in them to be civil. You know, like they say, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Well, that's the Lord. He said, you know, how does it go? Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn? I go, let me get that right quick. I'm right here too. But yeah, see, this would make it good though. You know what I'm saying? This would builds up to a spectacular ending and a grand finale. You know, it's a drama build up. You know. Okay, yeah, that is one. It's right quick. So Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. It said, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. All right, in the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. All right, the land of uprightness is our land, the land of Israel, where they are right now. And what are they doing? Participating in a gene OCIDE. You know, in the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. They just over there doing whatever they want. But the point is, right, there is no reforming an Edomite. The Most High set him to be the wicked. So, yeah, he's going to play that role to the end. But, yeah, that makes for a better, you know, ending to his kingdom. You got it, brother.
Yeah, we can end it on this video. Not this one. But Tula, they taking their first set of immigrants, as they call them, to Alligator Alcatraz too. Yeah, we can end it on this video too, because also I'll put this.
Breaking news out of Washington. The Trump administration is now telling migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela that their legal status is being revoked.
Not just Northern Kingdom, but them Haitians in there. Cubans, you know, which a lot of Cubans look dark skinned.
Definitely.
You know, like you got a lot of, you go to an MLB game, a nigga like Sammy Sosa get up there to bat, and you're like, oh, look at that, where that nigga from? And he from Venezuela, or Cuba, you know? But the point is now it ain't just Northern Kingdom, it's Northern and Southern Kingdom. All this have been set up around you as you plan, as you worry about the Diddy trial, right? Who being traded right now in the NBA.
All advantage.
500,000 migrants are now being told to self-deport or face being forcibly arrested and removed from the United States. This comes less than a month after a Supreme Court order cleared the way for officials to end the Biden-era parole program known as CHNV that allowed them to come to the United States. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez joins us with more on this. And Camilo, given how imminent this warning is, how long do people have to self-deport here?
Well, Nancy, the Department of Homeland Security is telling these migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela that they must immediately register for self-deportation through a smartphone app known as CBP Home that the Trump administration set up to facilitate self-deportations. Otherwise, the Department of Homeland Security is warning them, Nancy, that they will be found, arrested, and forcibly deported from the U.S., and that formal deportation could carry a multi-year ban from re-entering the country legally. So these people are being told that if they do not have another form of legal immigration status, Nancy, they must leave the country voluntarily, immediately, or face ICE arrest and deportation.
Given that this impacts more than 500,000 people, what options, if any, exist for some of them to remain in the U.S. legally?
It's a critical question, Nancy, because it is really important to underscore that.
As a matter of fact, we can skip that. We can go straight into the video because it's going to come to the time where there ain't no such thing as you a citizen. Who legal, who not. everybody gonna be looked at as an intimate state from the eyes of the government, man.
And that's what the MOTB is about. They're destroying the old system, ushering in the new. So, right, won't nobody be a citizen. But this is what these guys don't get when they say that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark, meaning you won't be a part of society. All right. And they want to criminalize as many of us as possible. All right. And so they don't plan on us being a part of it anyway, outside of whatever slavery they need. But yeah, that's a beautiful point. It won't nobody be a citizen of the U.S. They're destroying that. It's burning down. The U.S. is burning down. That's the reason you see the chaos. And what we're going into is this technological terror, where you're just constantly surveilled 24/7. They can literally take over your bodily functions, the functions of your body, move you like remote control, take control of. They can tune into your eyes and look through your eyes, see what you see. They can hear what you hear. 6G turn you into the internet. You become a transmitter and receiver, like a router. You become a router. Somebody could tap into your MAC address and pull up the internet, pull up Google off of you. Yeah, what natural man, woman, or child wants to live like that? The Lord is going to have to intervene. There's going to have to be divine intervention because, shit, Esau ain't leave no stone unturned. He didn't poison the food. He's spraying this air, so he literally has us we're literally in the form of a internet. That's why they have the term Internet of Things or Internet of Bodies. With all these particles in the air, they're able to manipulate those particles, nanotechnology and all of that, to what they talk about in Bluebeam. Create holograms, mirages, whatever, all of that shit. These are the things that they got planned. Black Jesus, not Yahweh Shai, but Black Jesus walk through your wall and say, "Follow me, my son." They had that technology. So yeah, this is where they want to go with it, brother. But go ahead. What the elder say?
Yeah, he asked to put a video in the chat. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Elder Hawaii and Shalom, but I'm gonna just put all the videos we had. That's the three right there. Because I got the one we just played from with Trump, the one with this migrant with the Haitians, and this one we about to play. I just put all of them up in there for you. But again, Shalom to Allah Akim Akwath that's tuning in as well.
Shalom. Do you read that, brother Precept?
Khan. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11, 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." You got
Why is that important? Because Hosea 4:6 tells us that we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So not being ignorant means that you're up, like we say, we up on things. You're knowledgeable about Esau and his trappings, his snares, his pitfalls, all of his, his evil schemes and agendas. You're knowledgeable of them. All right, because we're in the time of knowledge. But Daniel 12 speaks about knowledge being increased in these last days. And yes, it is. And so, right. Should no one be ignorant of Satan's devices? You got Google, Chat GPT, AI, all of these things, not to say that they are the end all be all, but you got to put your legwork in. It gives you, a foundation to begin your research. But yeah, you got it. The water is the corn for the precept.
So we could end it off on this video. Now we got this from the Elder Yashua Wamba, and I'm gonna have to get this video as well and put it in the chat so y'all can check that out if y'all haven't. But he did a news, matter of fact, this is page right here. We got one video. I'm gonna put it up in the chat right now for y'all. But he did a news and prophecy 2 days ago about the deportations, and he played this video. We'll play here in a few. Now, it's this guy, he a lawyer. I'm not too sure his name, but when he going into the page is the Defiant Lawyers Network. Let me put out the Yashua. That's his lesson in the chat. So he played this video in his lesson. Now, it's this guy going into it, and we'll let him speak for a couple minutes. So that the title says, Civil Rights Attorney answers if Trump can deport Black Americans after birthright citizenship case. So the question is, can niggas who was born in America, can they still get deported? And he gonna get an answer. And yes, that's the answer. Nobody's safe. Matter of fact, I had this up. As Trump just said, or said earlier, not just the immigrants, but any people in America who ain't trying to get down. Let me get this real quick. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians, that's America, the new Egypt, Revelation 11 and 8 Egypt. Isaiah 19 and 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. And it's starting to look like that's Trump, of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah of hosts. You see? So let's go ahead and play this video here. Go ahead and, talk about it. And after this, other times of part, that's it. Unless you got some,
CASA case where it used birthright citizenship, used that issue to basically prohibit judges, federal judges, lower court judges from issuing universal or nationwide injunctions. A question has arisen that I want to address in this video. And that question is whether or not Trump can deport Black Americans, African Americans, especially those whose ancestors were enslaved in this country, what many people call foundational Black Americans. And the answer is yes, he certainly can. This case made it much easier. This case gave Trump the tool to do just that. Despite him saying, I heard him say it with my own ears recently, the day after the case came down, or maybe even the same day, that the 14th Amendment was added for the babies of slaves. Well, that is true. However, the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment does not apply just to the descendants of enslaved people. That is not the way it is written. It actually says all persons. So it's not written that way. It's not interpreted that way, and it's not applied that way. All right, so keep that in mind. It's really important. And I believe Trump is saying that so that he can divide the Black and brown community, to say this is not, birthright citizenship is not for you. Basically, it's for Blacks. And you're trying to take something in, you're trying to take something from them. I think that is intended to pit us against each other. And I also think that he's saying that to deceive Blacks into believing that he is for us, when clearly he is not for us. All right. But let's get back to nationwide injunctions, because when the U.S. Supreme Court got rid of nationwide injunctions, that basically gave Trump free rein to do just about anything he wants to do, including deporting American citizens, not just Black Americans. And the basic reason why is because no judge can.
Not just Black Americans. So not just the Northern Kingdom Hispanics, but also Black Americans, not just the Israelites, Northern and Southern Kingdom, but any American. That's where it's at right now.
Stop him. Not with respect to the entire country.
Nobody can stop him. He's a cool Lord.
A judge can stop someone who files lawsuit against Trump. But think about it. If Trump snatch up, say, 100 African Americans and deport them to Sudan or Libya or Nicaragua or El Salvador or wherever, those people are gone.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space?
Never thought about it.
They're God knows wherever. And so let's say one of their family members file a lawsuit on their behalf. And let's say they successfully get an injunction from the judge. Well, it used to be, before this case, that the judge could say, basically, you got to return all 100 of these African Americans because you unlawfully deported them. But now, with this case, the judge could only say you got to bring that one person back. And the other 99, although it's unlawful, he cannot prohibit that unless they do a class action lawsuit. And class action lawsuits can take months, if not years, to get certified. So those other 99 African American people could be over there lingering, rotten in some jail or whatever, while their cases matriculates through the court system. It's almost like saying you can't kill that man after you didn't shot him.
And that's another thing you ain't hearing about. Like, they taking up all these immigrants, but like you don't get no follow-up story. You don't see no follow-up video of them being dropped off back at home and they go and hug and run to their families back at home. It's just they was took and that's it. And then like in the Yashawama video has been said, they just dropping them in the ocean. So how much more now they just grabbing you niggas out there who thinking y'all safe? Then what?
But why they don't send them back where they come from? I'm asking.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the question we got to ask. Why they don't send them back where they came from? You know, that's the reset. That's the reset. So that's Micah 2:1. You see how they get them to abandon their land and they go in, set up shop. The successful thing to do, you don't want them in your country, send them back home, but that's not what's going on. It's an uprooting and a reset of that's him removing the landmarks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I see it. You got it.
Can I just play a little bit more and that's it?
Listen, this court case essentially said to judges, you cannot issue nationwide injunctions except for certified class action lawsuits, even if what he is doing is unlawful. So if you phrase the question this way,
you can't raise a class action lawsuit or injunction against it, which injunction, that means a judge can block what bill or anything you just passed, you know, for the whole nation. What they saying is you can't block nothing he doing. You can't. Matter of fact, this is Spirit Day, and I seen the elder just posted. You can't block nothing they doing. The Lord really setting all this up. This Proverbs chapter 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. He putting that spirit on Trump. You know, he putting that spirit on all these other leaders across the world. Let me get this one too. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed. And all we doing is seeing the American government, they passing into law things they already had set up. It's just that they've been faking events, and now the citizens are giving them an excuse to pass it for their agenda, man. That's all we seeing. You about to say something, other Tyler Paul?
No, I was agreeing.
Yeah,
I would say that's right.
But I mean, that was pretty much it. He said some other good things. This is in the chat. I'll put in the chat again. He said some other good things. But we could really end it right there. You know, kind of what the Spirit's saying, kind of winding down that. But he said some other good stuff in his video, you know, but they can't overturn what Trump and them got going right now. They're moving forward with it. And it's not just the Northern Kingdom, it's Southern Kingdom as well. Hispanics, Native, and niggas. And also it's any American, anybody in America. So that's what we about to see, man. But you got us, Zaquan.
That's right. That's right. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. You know, it's like right now. Just let them go home. Just let them go home and leave us alone. You know, you can do your NWO without us. Just go and do that and leave us alone. But no, they were just like in Egypt. This is another comparison to ancient Egypt. They're not going to let us go. They want to be able to inflict this hell upon us, you know. So it says in verse 34, their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall truly plead their cause. All right, like Paul went into about the recompense, right? It said that is that 1 Thessalonians? 1 Thessalonians.
Yeah,
Lord's
unto
gonna
those
render
who
us a
trouble us.
recompense.
2 Thessalonians 1.
Second one.
I'll read it if you want it.
Oh, you got it? Go ahead. Yeah.
2 Thessalonians 1 and verse 6. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble. So like, I'm gonna click on it real quick. 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6, it says, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And to you who are troubled, that's what you're looking for?
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay, come.
The Lord is going to render recompense for us. So going back to Jeremiah 50 and 34, it says, their Redeemer is strong, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. All right, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall truly plead their cause. All right. So when they talk about pleading, it means the Lord is going to do some recompensing on our behalf. All right. That he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. All right. Right here in America. So the land can't even rest until we get rid of this devil. So the saints are wore out. The earth is wore out. This devil has wore everybody out. He has to go. But yeah, brother, you got it.
Khan is it.
He says the application. We do not address the question.
Sister, if y'all haven't seen this video already, check this video out. It's borderline must watch. You know, because it's informative.
The remedy is,
it's edifying. You know, about as far as the legal side, you know, what Trump doing, and how it could lead to not just Northern Kingdom being deported, but Black Americans, as they call them, and any American, man.
Equitable authority to issue universal injunctions. And I already told you, they answered the question in the negative. No, they do not have that power going forward. Now,
what'd
you say?
Yeah, I said shalom to the Laquan Atazaria.
Hey, Khan, shalom, y'all. Yeah,
I'm gonna read that Isaiah 10 and 1 that Laquan Hawa put. North Carolina 777. Well, GMS North Carolina 777. Posted Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right. And that's all of this draconian legislation that we're being hit upside the head with. That's, you know, it's coming out that these things have been on the books. Like that one you just showed, how far that go back?
Let's see.
I know it ain't recent.
The DOD, yeah, it says, so it went into effect September 27, 2024. And it says it reissued in August 2007.
2007. Okay. So yeah, that's prescribed.
Yep.
That's a prescription. All right, for hell. A prescription for terror.
Shoot, 1982.
See, they do these things generations ahead of time.
Damn.
So they be done already mastered every angle while we just being hit with it, trying to figure it out. They done mastered. So Any avenue you think to go down, that his red ass is. And that's how they gonna run this Palantir. And again, Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed. See, they prescribe grievousness. Now they grieving the people, you know, and we can't get grapefruits and oranges now, the pineapples, all that good stuff. You're gonna see a shortage in the stores because he just wanted to grieve the people. But we know it's deeper than that. Again, you know, as the elder Hawaii put, yeah, they not sending them back home. They just dropping them off in the I think he said drop them off in the sea. Let me double check. I don't want to misquote. But yeah, he said he's not taking them back home, just deleting them. And yeah, but he want all of that. He want North, Central, and South America. He want it all. But yeah, and he's done it through legalization by way of his unrighteous decrees. And verse 2 says to turn aside the needy from judgment. You see how they need judgment? They need justice. They given no due process whatsoever. They're in need of justice. Citizens that been here to pay taxes, man, for decades. They're getting old and young, just like the scriptures say. Maids, young little children, they coming through. That's the Most High. But he's using these Edomites. Jake getting caught up because they don't know the scripture. They ain't been giving praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father. So they getting swept up in Ezekiel 9:4, 5 and 6. They didn't value what we was teaching. They didn't value getting that Thawah. So now you get the ICE, the ICE. Jake, Negro's gonna get the ICE. Yep, just as the prophecy said. You know? Yeah, and they brought him in. I remember Elder Atazaria said that we was still on Main Street, and he said, yeah, they coming over here to get judged. It was the absolute truth. And I hadn't thought about it at this time. This was years ago. But we ain't been on Main Street, shit, man, maybe 2 years. But it was during the Biden administration. So, yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. That big mass exodus from South and Central America up here to North America was just so y'all could get judged by way of these unrighteous decrees. And it's hard, but it's fair because y'all were warned. Most I got prophets in Central America. Most I got prophets in South America. You got prophets in the islands. Nobody has a cloak in these last days. So yeah, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And this is ICE, man, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Them drugs ain't never stopped coming over here, but they can do something to enforce some unrighteous decrees on you. They can't do nothing to stop these cartels from flooding the streets with fentanyl, but they can enforce some unrighteous shit on you. And in the words of Dick Gregory, I have to say it like this, it's all a game. It's all a fucking game. And a lot of Israelites gonna lose their lives out here playing. Because although it's a game, it's deadly serious. That's it for me. You got it.
Nah, you can take us out. I ain't had nothing else.
Okay, well, with that, we pray that you all were edified. And Lord willing, we'll see you all next week for another exciting episode of News and Prophecies on this Thursday watch. All right. So today we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them and raised them up in the spirit. And peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. So to the next one, Shalom.
Shalom. The water for touring in. Shalom.